comes to making plans, you are the best. What about those barbecues you plan in detail for your family? Or your daughter's first costume party? It was out of this world. The same way you plan each detail for those moments, start planning to protect you and your loved ones from a natural disaster. Sign up for local weather and emergency alerts. Prepare an emergency kit and make a family communications plan. Protecting your family is the best plan you can make.
My dad was a farmer, and when I saw him on a horse, the guy was bigger than life. One of the things that he had a hard time doing was showing the emotion. Maybe it was because the way he was raised, or believing that men provide and they don't struggle. But we all struggle. I want to show emotion to my kids. I want them to know when I'm happy, I want them to know when I'm sad, and I want them to see me working through things. The biggest reward I get from being a dad is watching my kids accomplish a goal, watching them light up. Nothing brings a bigger smile to my face. So I make my kids a priority. Whether it's hitting a baseball, a dance rehearsal, you name it, I'm there. They're gonna remember that they grew up loved. Be brave. Be there every day. And allow your kids to know that it's okay to struggle. That even dad doesn't know the answer sometimes, but we're gonna figure it out together.
If I could go back and change it all, I would. I think I'm gonna miss you the most. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Or maybe it's just the little moments. If I could go back and change it all, if I could go back, I would. But I can't.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen out there. Welcome, welcome, welcome to a brand new, fresh episode of Mind of a Man. I am your co-host, Tobie Famusipe, and I'm joined by General James Jones. I call him the General because he's always a general to me. General James Jones, and we have a behind-the-scenes guest today, our producer, Courtney Clark. Yes, Courtney, I'm putting you out there today. I'm putting you out there. Let's go. Today, you know, after a brief hiatus, you know, due to logistical challenges, we are back and better than ever. So today's topic, ladies and gentlemen, we don't actually have a guest. We're going to talk about this in preparation for an upcoming guest who's going to pick up where we leave off. So today's topic is, are men predetermined to cheat in relationships? That is the topic for today. So I'm going to kick this off with a question for my guys out here. What type of guys are more likely to cheat? I'm gonna start it off right there.
I was expecting with like an A, B, C, D answer. I prepared for this topic, so I'm gonna let it open. It's open season. Which type of men will be more likely to cheat? Right. Okay. That's a good question. Well, let's start off with the parameters of this. Most men who are more likely to cheat are people who are uncommitted to relationships and even, I would say, to their purpose in life. Because if you're willing to cheat with someone else, you're probably cheating in other areas.
Correct. Right.
All right. I say that because people who cheat, what they're saying is, not only do I don't trust you, I don't trust myself. And because I don't trust myself, I'm not going to trust you. So if that's the biggest statement is, will he be most likely to cheat? Then my next question after y'all answer y'all's is how do you know? How do you know? You're meeting an individual for all potential purpose, but how would you know this person has that mindset? That's what I would like to say. That mindset to want to manipulate you. Some people look at it as just pure manipulation. Others will probably look at, hey, you know what? I didn't make no commitment, so you can't hold me to that. I took you out. We had a good time. Yeah, we seem like we hit it off, but I'm not quite there with walking down the aisle being committed to one person. What do you say to your so what do you say to your partner who you grew up with and you call him a straight up, you know that he's a dog, he's been dogging, still dogging, but he's your friend?
Courtney, you want to take that before I respond?
No, you respond. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. You want me to respond? What do I? Well, if I'm in a committed relationship, or I'm married, newlywed, married, and I have a friend who's doing that, my behavior on how I treat my relationship or how I treat my wife, I will try to use it as a template for my doggish friend. Like, dude, this is how, things are supposed to work. If you want to keep a happy relationship, if you want to keep things going, marriage is work. Yes, it's work, but you have to make the work, make it fun with that same person. There's never a boring moment. There will never be a boring moment in your life. Marriage is what you got to keep working at it every single day. Not every week or every month or every year. No, it's something that you do daily. So it's something that I would use as a template for my doggish friend. Fortunately, I don't have a doggish friend around me. I can honestly say that. And if they are doggish, I don't know nothing about it. I have no idea.
All right. So you don't have a doggish friend, but you probably got a doggish family member. Okay? Maybe it's a brother. Maybe it's an uncle. But we know they out there. So my thing is, how do your wife respond to that particular situation? Or let's say if you're not married and you have a significant other who is like, y'all been going together for so long, it's like marriage until you get married. What do you say to when you want to go out and this person is real close to you, but she knows about this individual and knows the things that he has done? Now, does that lead to some trust issues? Because birds of a feather, they do flock together. I'm just saying,
I got a very
as they say, I'm just saying, brother, if that be the case, what does a single person have in common with a married person? Especially if they're that way, but you've been knowing this individual since childhood. Give it to me, man. Come on, give it to me.
I have a very simplistic answer to that.
Okay.
You're married and you're in a relationship like that, and you have a doggish brother or stuff like that, my interaction on that level will have to be limited. You have to discipline yourself not to get caught up or get sucked into your brother's doggish ways. Okay? Because you don't want that to filter into your relationship with your wife, with your spouse, wife, whatever. You don't want that to filter in, because remnants of what he's doing, remnants of it, okay? The little remnants of what he's doing will filter into your relationship.
But that's your brother.
I
Come on
understand
now.
that's your brother.
That's
Yeah,
fair.
but the Bible says the man will leave his family,
Oh,
his
you
mama
gonna
and
go
dad,
Bible on me, huh?
and go
Okay.
start his own. Yeah, I'm gonna open the floodgates on that. That
Okay.
is your
All right.
lane. That's
Let me
your
ask you guys
lane.
a question. Let me ask
Yeah.
you a
Go
question.
ahead, Courtney.
Like, you know, the brother thing. The one thing I noticed about me,
Are you the
when
brother?
somebody,
And I'm kidding.
but there's situations where, like, how do the brother might be thinking, and I'm not sure, like, it could be coming from the family tree, like the father, or just habits, or maybe just, some people have relationship issues, men or women, but I know this about men, but where he thinks it's okay to have multiple partners because of, he don't want to commit. But then, like, you in a situation where you the strong one that decides I'm committed, maybe the conversation maybe have to take place where it'll help him, focus on one person. But because when men cheat, it's based on something that's going on in their lives, and you don't know what it is. It could be issues, secure issues. It could be something relationship with their mother. It could be dad because dad did a lot of that and showed them, and next thing you know, that took a toll on them, and they became one of that because of maybe just not meeting the right person, and they just continue to jump. But that's going to affect that person because you don't want them to keep doing it. Well, you can't stop them, but you can in a way. But if you become big brother and say, hey, let's try to commit. Let's try to and let's go out. Maybe meet the woman that he's dating and kind of help to fix that issue, fix his mind so he can actually commit.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a part where that teaching comes in, where teach that person how to be a better person in the relationship for support whatever cause that is.
Hence what I said earlier. Exactly. What I said earlier.
Mm-hmm.
What I said earlier.
So y'all talk about teaching, but my question to you is this: what is the saying now these days? I know,
Mm-hmm.
and I know it, but I'm not willing to do it.
And that's a personal problem on that individual.
Okay, but if you're going to say that, right, don't throw stones at my glass house when I know what you have done because we roll together, we grew up together. Okay, so my question to you would be this: if that is the way that it is, and you're going to limit him, right? But you enjoy his company, right? When let's say y'all have a common bond there, right? Where do we be able to help him in such a way or address the issue, but not criticize him? In other words, because what we see from the outside is because we're so close that we know him, right? We know what he's doing, but from the outside looking in, you could never tell that, right? So my question has become, how do you deal with that situation when it's not you, and furthermore, he didn't even ask for it, right? Because he's enjoying himself, because he might come back with, because you ain't enjoying yourself, don't dampen me. But if we're going to be cheaters and we're cheating, what other areas are we cheating at?
Financial.
Probably so.
Finances. So, keeping your bank statements or your bank accounts information away from the other person, and
What they might not want to get that close. You don't need to. What they used to say. A
Yeah,
lot
that's
of
what
them
I'm saying,
don't want you to know where you even live, right? So with cheating, right? There's a lot more to that. But my question comes back to the heart of the matter. What else are you cheating at? Because I'm cheating because there's a need. I have a need, right? And physical. But I remember y'all throw out the Bible, both of y'all. So if y'all gonna put the Bible in, what does the Bible say about sleeping and about spiritual mating, becoming as one? And the more people you do it with, the more you're attached to. So if you're gonna throw stones at my glass house, my question to you is, how many did you do before you got to the right one? It used to be a commercial about a lollipop. It says how many licks does it take to get to the center of a Tootsie Pop, right? So how many times will you keep going down that road
I have to
before you make the right one?
Right. Okay. Fair question. I don't like drama. I run from drama. The thought of you actually messing around with another lady, for me, you're just bringing a lot of attention to yourself, a lot of drama that you don't need, especially if it's situations that that you don't need to be in. I always say, don't put yourself in a situation that you cannot get out of. Okay? Don't put yourself in, because if you know yourself as a human being, don't put yourself in that situation where you definitely can't escape it. It is bound to happen. And I can honestly say, this is my second, by the grace of God, my final and last marriage. I can honestly say, even before my first marriage, I can honestly say I never messed around with somebody. And I can count with one hand the women that I've been with in my life. I never. It just, because I was always afraid of the confrontation, the drama, the fights, you're a liar, and then, and all the work that you have to put in the relationship only to cheat. It's not something, and you cheat and then you have to rebuild all that all over again. It's too much work.
What? There used to be a saying that we had in the military. This guy used to say, if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. Or if you get caught, you didn't try
not smart enough. You were not smart enough. I get that.
Like that.
I get that.
I say that to say, does he take ownership of all this? In the whole scheme of things, Courtney, does he takes full ownership of the whole entire aspect of him creeping around, him cheating, meeting other women, engaging? Does the individual himself takes the whole rap?
Mm-hmm. Well,
I mean, sometimes they don't. I mean, like I said, everything's an excuse. At the time,
right.
Like I said, it looks okay. It's a fine. But then once the smoke is clear, something pop off, because she got pregnant, you got caught, and the whole different night, there's a different concept behind it. The thing is, especially if you're married and cheat, you're messing up your legacy.
Yeah, that's, to me, that falls in a whole nother category, because
it does.
That to me is what y'all used to call last year an agent.
We talked about
at that point. If you walk down the aisle,
well, the thing is that
it's
not about the ages and everything. It's just there's dynamics I know we're only on the men's side, where you don't know that person, and then like I said, just a man can change because hey, like, wow, I didn't expect her to be like this or that and the third and all this stuff. Like, just doing all that homework. You know what I mean? That goes on both sides. But some people like to cheat. It's like a game.
Yeah, but see that kind of drama
That,
right
yeah,
there. That
it's
someone
the
wants
thrill.
that kind of
It's the
test.
thrill, right? It's the thrill for
It's
some
a bit,
people,
yeah.
for both
Knowing
men
that they
and
can
women.
do it and get away with it depends
Right,
on their
for both men
spouse.
and women,
I mean, it
guys.
depends on their girlfriend or
I
whatever.
don't know. I'm gonna challenge both of y'all on that one. I'm
Okay.
gonna challenge both of y'all on that
I
one.
mean, I've been around. Like I said, I know the dynamic. I mean, I know guys. It's like, yo, it was like they got a full body at home, looking good and everything,
Right.
and they just want that because it looks, because they know they can get it.
Yeah, but
is
I'm
what it
gonna
is.
challenge both of y'all. It's not just the hunt. I'm telling you, I've been around enough of them that in the military that has done it, who has been married. What they're out there doing is seeking something that they did not get, or they think they will not get at home. Right? People think of your favorite. Courtney, think of your favorite meal, man. Think of your favorite restaurant. If you could eat there,
But it's two things. That's only one aspect, and there's another aspect where I just want to have it.
Right. But I'm saying you want to have it for a reason. There's a reason.
No, I just want to get it.
No,
but that's the reason, though. The reason is
Like,
I might want to get it, but at the end of the day, when you get it, right, and you're meeting a physical need,
And that's it.
right? Right? So you're meeting a physical need. Eventually, it stops. Why? Because either I have to grow up, everybody done seen my game, or someone gives me something that satisfies me.
Yeah, I mean that depends. That's somewhat down the road, but like I said, at the time, it's like, hey, I gotta have it, or like I'm not getting certain things at home. Maybe
So
like
there,
for instance,
like
a
I
dumb
said,
one.
you're out there. But you out there looking for something though.
But here a dumb one. My wife is pregnant. I don't like her. I don't like having sex with her pregnant. That's a dumb one.
Okay,
I mean, I gotta
but
say
even
like,
with that, right? Even with that, that's not smart. But
you know what I'm saying? But
you
should be doing it. You know what I mean? Because there's reason behind it. But that's one. There's so many dynamics, man. Like I said, the list can.
Go ahead.
No, I'm good. Go ahead.
Gentlemen, from an animalistic point of view, it is the thrill of the kill.
Okay.
It's the thrill of the kill. No animal. I've watched a lot of Discovery Channels.
It's an animal. Why gonna be animal, man?
Yeah. We talked about it. Like we got men around us, men or brothers around us who are doggish. Okay. So it's the thrill of the kill. So instead of me saying the thrill of the kill, let me take that back. It's a thrill of the pursuance. You're pursuing something you can't get, or something that you really want just because. It's the thrill to conquer that whoever you're chasing. It could be the man. It could be the man chasing the woman, or heck, today, it could be the woman chasing the man.
Yeah.
It's the thrill. It's the thrill. And the conquer, you're not gonna make it easy for me. Look, I've been situations where we're married, and now when a man asks a woman, or he sees an attractive woman in the grocery store, whatever, he asks her, "Oh, you are so pretty. Are you married?" And say yes. They stop there back in the day. Now they'll say, "Are you married?" Like, "Yes, I'm married." "Are you happily married?"
So that's where y'all hook up at now? Y'all go to the grocery store and hook up?
No,
so you get your food.
No, gentlemen, it could be anywhere. It could be the grocery store. It could be the laundromat. It could be at a restaurant or an event. You could be at an event. They see the ring. The ring on your finger don't mean squat anymore. It doesn't mean anything anymore. Now it's a question of, okay, you're married? Okay, that's cool. But are you happy though?
Oh, wow.
They're just trying to find that opening. That is what's going on out here today. And that sets things up as like, you know what? Hey, is she going, things ain't looking right in the house. Shoot, what I got to lose? She's not going to know.
Hey, is that only happening in big cities, or is that just happening everywhere?
It's happening everywhere. It's happening everywhere. I got a stat here that I pulled up earlier today when I was looking at this. The reasons why do people cheat?
Okay.
A study of 495 people revealed key reasons: anger, low self-esteem, which that's debatable, lack of love, low commitment, need for variety, neglect, sexual desire, and circumstance. These are the key reasons why.
So finance not in there either.
No,
Shockingly.
man, you can't use finance.
No, shockingly, finance is not there. I thought finance was going to be in there. I thought I was going to see
just
finance.
because they didn't get it last night. They jumping, huh?
Yeah,
That's
right.
in there.
The
Right,
fish
they
are
didn't get it
right.
last night. They jumping.
So
And
what was
it's a
number one?
What was number one?
What was
Anger.
number one?
Anger.
Anger.
So even substance, nothing like substance abuse.
Nope.
That ain't popular.
Nope.
Okay.
Nothing like sexual. Nope. None of that.
I'm glad
None
you did
of
that.
at all.
That's good information to realize. I
Right.
didn't hear finance, and I heard everything else. Those are common things. Those are common. This is recent.
Yep.
This is recent numbers, like actual.
Yep. Recent numbers. I
Okay.
can send you the links. And then there's another one here I found. This is from another magazine, Detective Store. It says here the American Sociological Association has taken an interest in the impact of earnings on marital infidelity. In 2015, it was published as the results of a study showing that men who are 100% financially dependent on their wives are the most likely to cheat.
That's facts. I agree with that.
Okay?
Ho.
No,
you gonna agree with that?
see that, Courtney? No, now you
I'm
are.
just saying because, like I said,
Why you gotta agree
they got
with
more
that?
time. They got more time.
Because
They got more time.
he's got
And-
more
and
time in his,
like
on
I
his
said,
hand.
yeah, and then he can play the housewife, pretty much do everything in the house, do what he want, make sure he can time it too. Like, hey, have such and such come at this time, such and such come at that time, and then back with the family at X or Y time. I mean, unless it's like because knowing that his wife is out constantly on the grind, constantly. So when she come home, she tired.
So what about men who constantly on their grind, got a wife and children, but yet he's trying to get with the secretary?
Who, the husband?
Yeah.
That means.
So you mean if they both working, two working parties are?
Yeah, they can be
Well,
both
the thing
working
is,
parties.
the two working parties depends on
So
that situation.
why is he on the hunt?
Huh?
Because
Why is he on the hunt?
Because there's, I can answer that. Because there's a gap at home.
Okay.
There's a gap. And that gap, he's hoping that his secretary can fill that gap.
No, because Courtney should be answering this one, because a lot of times it's not that. What it really is the one who has your ear has your future. The one that you spend the most time with, you're divulging personal information.
Courtney supposed to answer that.
Yeah, Courtney should have answered that. The one you spend the most time with should be the one. That's why that one is getting so close to you. Because you spending all that time with.
Well, just, you know what? No, I might beg to differ slightly on that. Just because you spend a lot of time with someone doesn't mean something is necessarily going to happen. One,
I didn't say it was going to happen. I said when it happens, it's because that individual. Okay, check this out. The only way you make a wise decision, right, is by having.
What's a wise decision? Cheating is a wise decision.
A wise decision is if I got more information to make a decision, I got enough information to make a good decision, right? So the more information that she has on Courtney, or she has on you, Tobie, or has on me, day in and day out, what is that saying? That means that she begins to know you.
Yeah, she's creating her case.
No,
on you,
she
pretty
no,
much.
she what we call she got she know your repertoire. She got a dossier on you, and so
Well,
they
the same
keeping
thing,
file
just different
on,
way. But go ahead.
yeah, she keeping
But you
file
still
on you.
have to be, disciplined to not to put yourself in that position.
That look.
I'm a firm
Remember what
believer
you
of that.
said about the number one thing, anger. Supposed is popping off at home, and I ain't enjoying. I'm not happy at home. I got children, and I'm just tired, and I'm overworked. And
So this is where
someone is catering to your need right there at work.
But this is where it gets real. That's where I said when the brother thing with Tobie was talking about earlier. If he was in a relationship with, or if he's serious, whatever all the case may be, or it could be a different scenario. The coaching, man, that's where, you know what I mean? Because it's not like he wants to cheat. Something popped off at home. And this is where the brotherhood don't get strong.
Right.
Is that they don't, if you know something popping up at home, you know, yeah, you can go to a club, or a bar, whatever you want to call it, or a spot, or go back to work, call what the somebody gonna have your ear, pretty much, hey, I just want to talk, whatever. And then those are bad cues, man. The thing is, like, it should be, you know, a support system, where it gets, like, you know, where we can manage that. And that's where a lot of men
have more
fails.
support system than the men.
Oh yeah, most def, yeah, they do.
Women have more support
and
for each other. They'll be like, girl, hey, I wouldn't do it.
And then you got to be a strong one in the group to say, you know, that's not right. Don't do, you know what I mean? In our case, we you know, we keep things to ourselves, and we go float, and next thing you know one thing to the next, just like you just said, just like Tobie, just like, you know, Elder said, pretty much boom, 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 domino effect. Next thing you know, you're doing it in our.
You know why I can't talk?
Keep on out.
You know why I can't talk? Waiting for you to leave, so old boy can creep in through your back steps and be in your house. So what? I ain't gonna tell you my business.
So you got to be strong.
Somebody stand by waiting to take your place.
Like my dad. My dad would say, "Don't put yourself in a situation you cannot get out of." That's how my mama said that's his way of saying he can't even control himself. That was my mama talking about my dad in response. Like, that's because he can't control himself in a certain situation. That's why he's saying that. And I'm like, okay, mama, I'm not even gonna open that door with you. I'm not even gonna open that door.
Like, if there's a movie right now, it's called Sons. If you guys get a chance to send it, I'm saying it, I'm promoting the movie, but they got some good actors in there, artists, a couple of good, you know, solid people that everybody knows, and it kind of have those flavors in there. What we talking about? Sons, it's called. It's actually on Tubi right now. It's only on Tubi. Check it out when you get a chance. But it's have those flavors, and somebody's waiting to get married, and they have all this stuff rising, but it's on the woman's side. The man is trying to be faithful, knowing that he's getting, you know, pulled by another woman to, you know, temptations. And like I said, he's holding, you know, he's trying to hold the fort, and she's trying to hold the fort. So I ain't gonna tell the whole movie, but then you know, even in this case, the support system, man, and you know, and it's all in the minds. It's a mind thing. If it's, you know, because you have to be strong when the temptation comes.
You have to be strong, and you have to have the discipline.
Discipline, straight up discipline.
Straight up, flat out discipline. You have to be disciplined, no matter what. If you know yourself as an individual, like, don't put yourself in a situation you can't get out of. If you see that situation could spark with someone, or there's an attraction, you have to remove yourself from that to protect yourself from yourself.
Yeah, protect yourself. And even if it's from, like, say, for instance, you get married, you guys are everything locked down.
Right.
X comes back in the picture, you know, X texts, cause just like you said, are you happy? You know what I mean? Those things kind of come about too. So those are cases that
I'm like, they went the extra mile. Courtney said, okay, fine.
And then I said, if that was the case, you know, you can go.
Like,
you can.
Why are you going the extra mile?
Right, but depends on who's going out your mile. If the woman taking the extra mile to go to run after a person that we already locked in. You already 6 months in, a year in, or whatever, and you decide to just entertain because maybe, just because this curious George side of that person want to know if that would, maybe, you 6 months in, you're straight. But, everything's growing pains. Everything's growing pains. And again, it's all about the support system, all about the mindsets, all about your, if you want to put prayer life in it, your spiritual life, all that equations of not making that bad decision. Because you have to, you have to kind of pretty much be totally strong.
The notion of are men predetermined to cheat? I'm not a big fan of it, but that's what is out there right now in the life and the society that we live in. I'm not a fan of it because not all men cheat. Not all men. No, not all men cheat. And if a man is weak, you just know not to put yourself in that position. You run from it. You run from it. You pray to God. You run from it. The reason why men and women now these days, they go out there and they cheat. They do stuff on a sneak. They don't want the relationship. They just want to have this extra desire or whatever they don't have at home. What bothers me about that is when the men or women do this, have they even took the time to talk to their spouse in the house? They're not happy about something. Or see, that's the breakdown of communication right there. Like, okay, he ain't doing nothing, so she ain't doing nothing. I'm not even gonna worry about it, man. I'm not even gonna worry about it. I'm just gonna do what I gotta do and keep myself happy. That's where the selfish act comes into play. Selfishness comes into play there. Like, have you even spoken to your husband about this problem that you're having, or this gap that you feel that you're having, that you need the gap filled by somebody else? Mind you, you're bringing somebody else into the picture now. Another full flesh and bone human being into the mix now. Emotions are going to get involved. Both either men or women. Emotions are going to get involved. You can only hide it for so long because at some point, the bottom is going to drop. And now, in the world of social media these days, man, social media keeps everything. Text messages keep everything. You think you deleted stuff, but no, you didn't, brother or sister. You didn't. It's still out there. Screenshots and look, your man is cheating. This is that. It is a dangerous, I'm even tired talking about it. It's a dangerous situation. It's dangerous. At the age that we're all in right now, do you really want to add that to your life right now? Do you really want that? I don't want it for me. I don't want it for me. I run from drama. I can't stand drama. I run from it. I'll be like, you know what? I will fight. If it was me, and knock on wood, I thank God it's not me. But for somebody else out there, whoever's listening tonight, please think twice before you do it. And if you're doing it, I think it's best that you just shut it down and go talk to your spouse at home, either your husband or your wife, and let them know what's the gap. What's the gap? What are you missing? Right. What is it that's missing, and work on it. And don't put yourself in a position that you can't get out of, because not everybody is strong, like you said, Courtney. Not everyone is strong or has that discipline to actually say no means no. No. Keep my stuff between my pants and just, I'm not doing it. And that's why I'm praying to God to please help me through this, because I'm brainstorming some things that I would like to do next year as regarding relationships with my wife. So I'm thinking things through. I'm processing and thinking like, whatever you've been through, the highs and lows of a relationship before you get married, how can you use that to help other people going through similar situations? I know people who go through these situations, and it's like you sit there and you wonder, did you even discuss this with your wife? Did you? Before you even went out there, did you?
She's the problem.
Okay. Oh, she's the problem.
She's the problem.
Okay. So why is he afraid? Why
Isn't that right, Courtney? She's the problem. That's why I'm out there right now.
She's the problem. She is the problem. But you have to question yourself. Have I even given this enough time, enough thought to discuss with my spouse? before I went out and I caught the first thing walking by? Have you even thought about it? Have you processed it?
I think a lot of people do think about it, but they think about it in this way. I like all of her, but this part here, right? So if I could I do this and then I come back, I'm okay. But as long as I can do this every now and then come back, I do whatever she wants me to do.
But we're missing one thing. Emotions get involved. I don't care how you cut it, General. I don't care how you cut it. Emotions will get involved eventually. From the woman, first of all, emotions will come quick. Okay? It will come quick. For a man, maybe gradually it builds up to that. Especially when
I'm not trying to get attached at this point.
When things are because when things are falling apart at home,
right,
that's when the emotion starts to build with whoever he or she's messing with.
Right.
The emotion starts to build, till it falls off. Like, you know what? I'm done. Without even working on it, without going to a therapist, without going to a counselor, without going to spiritual counselors in the church or something to help them.
Right.
Okay? They don't. Because it is only in America where it is that quick to actually go and do a divorce. So quick. Just like that. Other countries, they don't make it easy for you. Because they're encouraging you to work on the marriage. They don't make it easy for you to get a divorce.
Right.
Here, it's like, it's part of, and stop me if I'm wrong here, but it's almost part of our norm in our society. Okay. I've seen people over the past couple of weeks now, 24 years married, 25 years married, 30 years married, and they're divorcing. I'm like, what gives? What happened? People who are married that long, you ask them, like, okay, when I see couples who are married that long, I'm not ashamed. I ask, what's the key? What was it that kept y'all going? Because I know there's a point where both of you couldn't stand each other and you just want to walk away. But you stayed in there.
They say they can't stand each other.
They can't stand each other. But they hung in there. They stood in there and they worked it out. They worked it gradually. They worked it out. And now relationship is better than ever. And it goes highs and lows in a marriage. When I see couples who have been married that long, James, I ask them, I say, what's the key? What was it that you did different? And most couples that I've spoken to are willing to tell me, 1, communication. 2, make your marriage fun every day, no matter how rough the situation is. Make it fun. These are some of the feedbacks I'm getting. Am I storing that in my head? Absolutely. I'm storing it in my head.
Now
communication is a big piece. You got to have I know that the topics, some of the stuff that you mentioned in that report, but big thing about communication, man. You got to know how between a woman how to talk to a man, vice versa, and they got to be where there's an equal thing where if something's going on one party or whatever, or something financially going on, there should be a way of you guys communicating, because that's also could turn the relationship. That's why I was so shocked that financial never came up, and where one spouse making more money than the other one, and pretty much driving all the different things in direction and all that stuff, and then one just kind of pretty much supporting in some fashion, some whatever capacity I'm trying to say. So then it's like that communication had to be like neutral, where they drive itself to where people don't want to talk to each other. Next thing you know, that's great. Another door open for somebody.
So Courtney, where was the communication when they first hooked up?
No, it's not that.
Sometimes
like I said, then we're gonna do the agent thing. The agent always give you something for fun, even through the marriage, to the point where you're gonna see something like 2 years later, you're like, I ain't see this coming.
Right. You
And
know
then
why?
you don't even
Because
know,
there was
because then you like, it
there
could be
was
something real simple, like for instance, say if you wanted,
there was
you
no
guys planning
communication.
something,
Right.
and time sneaked up, but it's not nobody. Be honest, you can't force anybody. Be honest, you can't force anybody, because if somebody's running, they're running, and if one is running pretty much, if somebody else, they're just on the sideline waiting, you're gonna be on the sideline. That's it. But at the end of the day, like somebody's running, like, hey, the date is up. Like, okay, and then you just talk about it. Then that person can't receive it because, like, well, I gave you a month of time or two, blah blah blah. I'm like, but I'm sorry. What do you want me to do? And that's. But then it's like that's when they take it to a whole different level and then make something out of something, and it's really nothing. Really, to you, it's not, because at the end of the day, like, things are being taken care of, stuff are being done, blah 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 blah. You know how we are. We're very nonchalant about stuff. But they will like whole different ballgame. They'll take that and run with it and make a big scene out of it, and then that could turn you off as a man because that's because if they don't understand, because so big thing on the communication. You got to be neutral. And like I said, it's nobody's fault, man. One thing I never saw that with my parents growing up is about the communication. I always saw one side and that was it. But it was, the big thing.
But women, most women that
and I'm not turning that against it, why she should go cheat, but that's what turns things on.
Right. They are better communicators.
Oh, yeah.
Women are better communicators than guys. Okay. I'm living proof of that. My communication skills, I'm living proof of it. No, I am not ashamed to say it. All those listeners out there, I am not ashamed. I'm not ashamed to say it. My communication skills wasn't as good or better than it is now. It's been better it's been better for the past 8-9 years that I've met my wife. So in my previous life, because things were so secretive or people were doing things on their own, I had to like cover and protect myself by not saying anything. And I don't want to talk about it. Everybody just go do their thing, don't do their thing. But now I'm in a better situation, in a better life right now with someone who expects constant communication. No matter how early in the morning, no matter how late at night, no matter what time, whatsoever.
As long as it stays like that, not to throw anything on you, it's got to be open.
It's got to be open. Exactly.
Just like
guilty. I was never really.
It got to be open.
Right. Courtney, I was not open. I was not open. And it came,
I'm using the bathroom, babe.
It came from our childhood. We weren't allowed to really. Right. I hear you, Courtney. I hear you. Courtney, I grew up in a culture. Where, regretfully, we were not allowed to really be ourselves. Really. We were not allowed to be ourselves or who we really are as individuals. Okay? So we had to keep things to ourselves. I hate to put it this way, but it's the truth. Be so secretive about yourself, about certain things. You can't be yourself because your mom and dad don't like it, or they're trying to relive their lives through you. So you can't really be who you are. That has followed me and my siblings up into our adulthood. So that now that when we meet a good woman or a good man in my family, they have to help us as we have to help each other work through some of the things that we had growing up as children that we didn't get when we were young. We're getting it now. So I said that to say this. I'm grateful because my wife is an open communicative, flat out open, doesn't care, doesn't matter how ugly the situation is, no matter how bad the situation is, how good it is, she wants to know. She wants to have the pulse on everything going on. Either she agrees with it or not. At least she knows. That, and I've never had that in my life, gentlemen. I'm not ashamed to say it. I've never had that in my life until now. Like, even now, sometimes she gets mad at me. Babe, why didn't you say something? Why didn't you say, I don't care how little it is. Well, you should have said something about it. I don't have that as much anymore. Now, if something's going down or something's going on, I am not ashamed, or I make sure my wife knows, or even if I can't talk about it at that moment, I shoot her a text. Babe, just an FYI, we can talk about it later, yada, yada, yada. A lot of men don't do that. They do it, so, oh, you know what, babe, I forgot. And of course, we're all human. We all forget. But forget what, but when things are hot, my wife wants to know. And it's made me a better person to make sure I maintain that streamline of communication every single day. Maintain that streamline of communication. Some women don't care. My previous life, not for nothing, they didn't care. Right. Maybe some other stuff was going on that I don't know about. And vice versa. I don't know. So when you have a good communication with your spouse, both man or woman, if there's something going on in your relationship that you want to do some things different or whatsoever, I just suggest that you just put it out there and just keep working on it.
So, Tobie,
yeah, go ahead.
Let me ask you this question. Is it different in the cheating with married men who cheat or single men who cheat? Because is the single man really cheating even though he's dating multiple or being with multiple women?
If the single guy is in a committed, I'm not going to say committed. I don't want to use that term loosely. But
you gotta say committed. You gotta be committed, because how do you going to commit?
If he's in a relationship,
can't be committed.
But that's not true, Courtney. Today that's not true. That's not true. They have multiple partners that they date, but they're not exclusive, which gives them the right to date other people.
Well, he needs to be honest then. No, he needs to be honest.
I'm just saying,
to be honest and tell the truth. Like, hey, we just having fun. I'm not in a committed relationship with anybody. I'm just in a dating scene. I'm just in a dating scene. Now, if you want in, come on, let's roll, let's party. Let's roll, let's party.
And a lot of people do say that. And what ends up happening is that someone, as you say, catching feelings, start getting closer.
You got to understand. Imagine.
Yeah, but Courtney, they cater to the ego. And then they start spending more time.
Oh, yeah.
And then they come underneath the illusion that they're one, that they're going to be one, that they should be one.
Who's saying that? You mean the woman saying that, or the woman saying that, or the man saying it to the woman?
It's mostly women, but it could be men too. There's some men that did it. There's some men.
Yeah, I mean,
and that's a lot different than a married man and woman.
Right, married man is different than
and his cheating.
Yeah, that's
so. Do we really call a single man who's married? I mean, a single man who dates different women.
Right.
Do we really call him a cheater?
Who? The single man?
Or her a cheater?
If he's honest up front, no. If he's honest up front with whoever he's messing with, or the chain of women that he's messing with, if he's honest,
chain of women, okay,
right, okay.
So if he's dating multiple women, you saying that that he's wrong. He should not be dating multiple women.
He can. It's a free country. He can. He can, but as long as the line of communication goes back to what I've been saying about communication, as long as he can communicate with whoever he's messing with, or the chain of women he's messing with, as long as he's honest with himself and honest with them,
all right,
then it's not cheating. But for a man that's married, yeah, but for a man that's married, it's a whole different ball game.
I agree.
It is a whole different ball game. Cheating, it is messing around with another woman is off limits. You should have thought about that before you said I do.
I totally agree with that. I totally agree with you. It should not be that way, because you should have spent more time
Evaluating
that part of life where you really get to know this individual before you dedicate your life with
to
that
somebody.
individual.
Exactly.
Right. I think that it should take. It's like layers. It should take
Correct.
time. It should not be all of a sudden that I hit you up and then we go out on a few dates and then
Right.
all of a sudden you're the best thing since sliced bread. I want to marry you. Woo woo woo. You have an income. I have an income. Let's hook up together. Because you really don't know that.
Wonder why
everybody put their best foot forward when they're meeting someone, right?
Like Courtney said, agents.
It's about right. Well, it's about spending that time. You got to peel back those layers, and it takes time.
Remember, it could
Peeling back those layers.
take 2 years before you say I know that person.
No, that's why people wondered, why did you and Money wait for like 7, 8 years before y'all got married? Money and I went through a lot. People don't know. We went through a lot. Okay? We went through a lot, and we wanted to make sure we got everything, every issue, every challenge, everything we faced. We wanted to make sure we got everything out there before we did what we did. Do I have any regrets? Absolutely not. I don't have any regrets.
No,
I don't. I don't.
So Tobie, you telling me that when you close your eyes, that you didn't wish that you could have married her earlier?
No. Maybe I wait. Maybe I wanted to. Maybe I wanted to, but she was more patient. She said she's not going anywhere. I was following my wife's lead. Let me put it that way. I was following her lead. I was ready after year 4 or 5.
Not
I was
one.
ready.
Not two.
No. You have to see like my wife's favorite words. I want the good, the bad, and ugly relationship. I don't want just the good. Because if something is too good, there's still something somewhere. I want the good, the bad, and the ugly. And I agree. Like, all right, this is me right here. For example, this is how I like to sleep. Or I like to sleep, half naked or something. These are little intangibles you have to put out there over the years.
So if that be the case, right? That be the case, right? Because I know most people who got married and they've been married for so long, they be like, hey, I wish I would have met you earlier in my first year of college or my second year of college or whatever the case may be. So let me ask you, I should ask Courtney, how long do you think is a sufficient amount of time to really spend with someone to make a commitment to them? To be one-on-one. I'm not even saying marriage, but to be one-on-one monogamous.
Right.
How long do you think it should take you?
Courtney, that question's for you.
How long?
Yeah.
Yep. How long?
What do you think the social norm should be?
Maybe 5, 10 years.
Jackpot.
10 years.
He said 5 years. Okay?
Because you're going to see all
5,
crazy
10 years.
Lord.
Remember, to this time of people are crazy. I'm going to put it out there. They're crazy. A lot of crazy
so 5
people out
years.
there. And I'm not going to talk any sense.
So someone that you really like, you think it should take 5 years?
If she can't wait, too bad. Sorry. Move on.
Okay. All right.
Yep.
And if she doesn't comply, then it's adios.
Yeah. If I can speak Spanish, yeah.
Okay. All right. And Tobie, you believe the same thing?
I concur.
You concur?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I'm gonna switch it up on y'all. I've been doing this all night. I'm gonna switch it up on y'all.
Okay.
I think it does not take as long as we think it takes. I think the more you have the interaction and spend time with that individual, the less time it takes to make a quality decision. So if I'm constantly in your space, remember we brought up about the secretary and the husband cheating? The more time you spend with someone, the more you get to know them day in and day out. Okay, so if it ain't every day and you're on the phone at least every other day, but you're in that close proximity where y'all meeting consistently, I don't think it takes that 5 years. I know it don't take that 5 years. Because let me tell you why. Let me tell you this why.
Oh, I got a response to that, but go ahead.
Okay, I'm gonna tell you why. How is it that y'all gonna bring up the Bible and say that God is this awesome God and he's incredible and he can do things like this, but then your processing of a mate takes that long? And then ask him to be involved in it. Now, is it one, your choice, or is it his? And two, how do you know? Now, I can answer that, but I'm putting it out there for y'all too.
Okay, I hate to answer that question with a question, but let me put it this way. To answer your question, it shouldn't take that long. You said, right? You said it shouldn't take that long.
No, I said the more time you spend,
the more time
right,
you spend,
it should not take that 5 years. If you're consistently having this interaction with them, right? Not like I see you once a week, or I see you every other week because you got to go out of town, or I'll take you out on a date once a month, something like that. I wasn't saying it like that. I was saying having that consistent communication and interaction. I believe that it does not take 5 years. I didn't say it didn't take some time, but I don't believe it would take 5 years because you're consistently having this interaction. You're consistently meeting. You're consistently having this intimacy about yourself and about the other, right? And doing life together. Go ahead.
You know what? A good agent will drag you on for a while. An agent can drag it on for a while. And so after 3-4 years, when the agent leaves, then the true person comes out.
I ain't buying that. I'm gonna tell you why I'm not buying that. Because either you ain't got no discernment, or you're not paying attention to what's being said and what's being done. And when you really take a close caption of what's being said and done, and you take a self-examination, there's no way.
Well, let me throw this
There's
out
no way.
What you said, Courtney?
There's no way. If you really listen and you're paying attention to the behavior, and you know yourself that certain things that are said that bother you or they're doing, and you address them and they keep coming back, you don't have to go that far, right? Because what? You're observing and you're using your discernment to understand visually and mentally this is not going to work out. Why? Because there are certain boundaries. If I address them to you, you've crossed and you repeatedly. So you can be a good agent all you want to, but the disguise will eventually come off in that time the more that I spend with you, right? Because even if you're trying to manipulate, the more time I spend with you and the more I already know myself, and I address issues, you're gonna see it. You're gonna see it for really what it is. A lot of times, most times, Tobie, I'm gonna tell you, a lot of people think, oh, that wasn't nothing. Oh, they were just kidding. Oh, they didn't mean that. Oh, yes, they did. And they did it. And they didn't just do it once. They did it in a different way. But if you never pay attention or you don't recognize it, then yeah, that agent can get in without a doubt.
So you saying that you got?
But I'm saying observation and constant communication and being around someone, you will get to know them.
Hey, you saying that?
That's how you get. The more time you spend with money, right? The more you got to know her. You get to know her proclivities. You know what she don't like and what she do like. You know the certain tone of her voice. What made her hot when she was out shopping or something.
And the look on her face.
I ain't got to say nothing, but I know that ticked her off right there.
Right.
I know
know
that
her
made her
look.
hot,
The
right?
look,
So,
sometimes she doesn't have
right.
to say
So the
anything.
more
Her
time
look
you have
alone.
to spend with them, the more you say, oh yeah, you know
But
me.
there's a
I'm getting to
tolerate.
know
Can you hear me?
Right.
Yeah, go
Well,
ahead,
we
go
can
ahead.
hear
I was saying that
that it will take 5 years.
it
I was
does.
just
I mean,
saying,
they
Courtney,
don't.
I was saying the more time you spend. Okay, so take this. Let's
That's
take
what I was saying in the beginning. Like you saying that you have an instant thing there where you can say within a year you can like boom, I can marry this person because I know all the dynamics.
No, what I was saying was I did not say that, right, Tobie? I
You
did
didn't
not
say
say
that, but
in a
it
year.
No, he didn't say
I
a
just-
year. No, he didn't say a year,
I
Courtney.
didn't say
I'm
a
just
year.
throwing,
I
I'm just
said
throwing I throw a number to it, but I'm just saying that the more. So we said 5. We gave him a number. He's got an instant
right.
thing. He
Right.
said it
You
don't
said
take 5.
I said I didn't believe it take 5
Right.
years.
So
I said the more time you spend with them,
right.
okay. So every day you go to work. If the woman that you were interested in and she was interested in you, and you're working with her day in and day out, and you're spending time with her, right? Do you tell me that if you work for the company for the next 5 years, it will take you 5 years to marry her?
It's not the case because there's some things, dynamics that you don't know. Just like we don't know what's gonna happen in our daily when we get up tomorrow morning. So there's gonna be some things where it's a situation that comes up, and that situation is gonna change the dynamics in the conversation. So it might not happen in a year, it might happen 2 years, it might happen 3 years. But so I'm just saying 5 years is just like a capped off number. But there's times when every situation changes the dynamics in a relationship, and
That's life.
But I know that's life. But then that's if it comes down to that, that's the person you're gonna sew into. You got to understand the dynamics.
But we weren't talking about sewing into. I was just talking about I didn't believe it would take that long if there's some
It's the same
consistency.
thing. So
I
in
would just say
same
that.
thing. Same
Okay, so I would say this then, Courtney. Between 40 and 60 years old, you take the biggest hits of your life.
Mm-hmm.
Most of the time, people's parents die, or they go through a life transition, or receive an illness. They take blows, most of their hardest blows between that age. Okay, and if you're above that age and you plan on getting married, then what?
It's one of those things that if it's meant for you, you're in it. If it's not, if it's not for you, hey, take the next trade out.
Save me, man. I can't even reason with him no more.
To some extent,
I'm just saying, man.
Courtney, you're right to some extent, and James, you're also right to some extent. There are some unique cases why some people it takes a little bit longer for them to get married, or whatever. There's some unique cases. Me and my wife were one of them. We're one of them. Okay. Some people they get married in 2 years that they meet and they've been together 20 years or 10 years. You know, it depends on the kind of
the people.
What's the word? The kind of people, right? It depends on their personality. It depends on the people and the personality. Okay.
I can buy that.
Like, if they're together 2 years, and you know what, let's do this. It ain't nothing but just paper say that we're married. We already been acting like we're married and whatnot. It depends on, and it's just the uniqueness. My wife and I we had a very unique situation. It was a unique situation that ended up being in our favor in the end. We basically waited on God. We waited on God and we prayed for God constantly, to God to please nurture our relationship. If this relationship is meant for us, let's be in it till the gates of heaven. If not, please, Lord, reveal it to us now so everyone can go their merry way. We both put it out there. I'm not ashamed to say it. She did it, I did it. Right. We put it out there. And 9 years later, we're still here. And I thank God for it. So again, it depends on it's the uniqueness of the relationship. So relationships are unique. Not every relationship is the same. Okay. Some people Some people are together 3 years and they've been married for 40 years. They got together for 3 years, and after 3 years they got married. They've been married for 40 years. Okay. So
but you see, the biggest piece that I think that people don't realize and all that, when you say 2 years, 1 year, 6 months, 1 month, is so they gotta be ready for tolerate. You got to give some up.
Tolerance. How's your tolerance level?
Yeah,
if
somebody got to be way up there, man.
Right.
If she got something crazy, you be like, oh my God.
The toothpaste.
Vice versa.
from the middle. Right. If somebody's squeezing the toothpaste from the middle and you like to squeeze yours from the bottom, that could be nerve-wracking for someone.
Mm-hmm.
Or if someone doesn't make their bed in the morning.
Yep. Or you
That
don't put
could
the
be
seat down, or you don't put the seat up when you use it.
Or you don't
Fair
put the toilet
madness.
seat down. That's classic. Right. That's a classic example. You don't put the
Oh
toilet
my
seat down.
goodness.
Okay. Can you deal with that for the rest of your life?
Mhm.
These are things you need to ask yourself about that person.
Yep.
That person needs to ask themselves about, can I even deal with first?
And
can
they
I
gotta
deal
do
with
they gotta do checks and balance.
right, checks and balances. Can I deal with his snoring? Or can I deal with his snoring?
Elder looking all
Okay.
funny. Are you looking all weird, Elder? You trying to process this?
Right,
Because
right.
everybody has their proclivities, and it's a matter of if I can deal with yours, right?
Right.
I have them. Everyone has them, right? And it's two broken people coming together, saying, you know, I believe that we will be better as one, as a whole, right? Because both of you broken, both of you are messed up, right? There is some areas in my life or in our lives that someone is saying I can submit better in that area than I can in this area. And so when you can come together and says we can be a whole better than we can be apart, then we can submit to one another in our purpose in life to keep going. You know, a lot of that has to do with, will I submit? You know,
Hence,
can I
negotiate.
deal with what you bring to the table? You know,
Right.
so many people
Madness.
look at the physical and they never look at the emotional. And a lot of people,
The emotional
9
aspect
times out
of
of
it.
10, they're broken somewhere. And
Right.
wherever they're broken at, they're looking at you like, you can help me walk through this, right?
And
You can help me manage this
you say that.
with
You said
I
that.
know
my life
now-
I'm trying to
until
touch
I
on
get
that.
better.
It's funny you said
What I
that
know
where
now, I wish
where you say you could be coming in, you know, the two broken people, but there's one that's gonna be solid, and you said I can help you, and sometimes that
No,
comes
I
up
didn't
too.
say
I
one
saying-
of y'all was out.
Huh?
I said both of y'all are broken.
Yeah, both. You said broke. I said it. Both of you are
Yeah.
broken. But then the part
Okay.
where you say I can help you and kind of balance, and sometimes that's that part right there. Sometimes people get into a relationship knowing that they can think they could be a helpmate to this person, and they can actually grow into this relationship that's going to make sense down the road. And some folks falls into that, but then they realize maybe not, but sometimes it went from 3 months, 6 months, whatever, how they met, to 20 years, 40 years, 50 years, because you was that support system that they needed, that kind of made their life whole, and then that vice versa to you, that maybe made you whole because you are, that kind of helps at the same time. So there would be never an instance where the person want to cheat on either part, because that now you're creating that support
Right.
system on each other.
It's growth.
Yeah.
It's plain. It's just growth. Like the Bible says, when Paul says, when I was a child, I spoke as a child. I act like a child. But now now that I'm a grown man, I put childish things away. And you got to know that playing those kind of games, hurting people, and 9 times out of 10, most of those who are doing what they're doing, single or married, they are broken somewhere. They're really hurt.
right.
And they don't have right. What they're showing you is, I don't have the capacity at this point to
Sustain you.
do right and make a wise decision.
Right. And that's a big factor right there. That's a big piece to it. I can't tolerate you. Nope, I can't do it. Sorry.
Right.
So.
Right.
But hey, guys, I don't know if you want to close out. It's about a little bit over.
Yes.
And we can do a part 2 with
General, you want to close us out?
All right,
You
I'll
want to
close us out. Well,
Okay.
once again, thank you for being here, watching us. Mind of a Man. We joke, we kid about men who are out there doing things that are unhealthy for them mentally or spiritually, as well as physically. Because that other human being that they're doing it to, you're damaging them. And I wanted you to hear something that we take for granted all the time, and that is relationships, or thinking that it's okay. That's somebody's mom, that's somebody's aunt, that's somebody's daughter, whatever it is, that is a human being, and they deserve just as much respect as you want as they deserve. And I'll say that again. They deserve that respect, and you should respect them. I say all that to say this. We are all here on this earth, and we can walk together if we choose to. My brothers and sisters, I pray that you find something worthwhile in this message with us brothers that will help you. But blessings to you all. I pray for your health. I pray for your walk in life, and that you be strengthened in every relationship, not just male and female, but in your relationships from work to church to wherever you are, and learn how to cultivate those relationships. We thank you from our bottom of our hearts here at Mind and Man. We thank our producer, Courtney Clark from Clark TV. We thank Clark TV, my co-host there, Tobie, and we look forward to seeing you again. Tobie, shout out to you, brother. Go ahead.
Yes, there will be a continuation, ladies and gentlemen out there who watched us tonight. Thank you so much for joining the show and listening. Hopefully, everything that we've discussed out here will impact someone on a positive level, that will help someone in a positive way. Everything we've discussed between Courtney, James, and myself. We want to thank everyone for listening in. Again, like I said, hopefully it will help someone. This conversation, we're going to have a sequel to this for next week. And we're trying to get a female perspective for next week. So we're working on getting that person onto the show for next week. So like I always wrap up my show, guys, hug someone, check in on someone. You have no idea what someone is going through. So I say that to say, have a blessed evening and enjoy the rest of the week, everyone. And we will see everyone next week. All right. Thanks, guys.
Take care, guys.
All right. Thanks, guys.
There was an old woman who lived in a shoe. She had so many children. She didn't know what to do.
Did you have a good day at school?
She gave them some broth without any bread.
There you go.
And kissed them all soundly
Night night.
Good night.
and put them to bed. Hunger is a story we can end. End it at feedingamerica.org.